Today we are doing some fun resist pad techniques. So we're going to try a bunch of different media on top of this and see what comes out. And then later in the month, I have a stream where we're going to take some of this stuff as well as some of the Enchanted Ocean other items and make some cards. So stay tuned for that. Also, just FYI, I have all of my May and my June streams up and ready on my channel, so you can hit the notification bell. You can go to my channel, hit live, you can get notified when those come out. So you won't be surprised. I've got it all set up. There are a couple of days that I'm not going to be able to be live, so I may try and do some pre-recorded videos. But for today, let's crack this pad open. I haven't played with any of this yet. I have used some of their resist pads in the past, so I'm excited to get a try with that. Also, real quick, I did want to show everybody my nails. I thought they turned out so cute. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so let's get to it. I'm going to pull, why not? Let's start with this one and put that over here. I want to show you up front. I think the resist is the design, and then we have the paper itself is kind of pearlized. Now, since this isn't strictly watercolor paper, I'm not sure how well it will take water media, but we're gonna try it. And then we also have some like Copic markers we can try. There's lots of different things we can try. So I think the first thing is gonna be just some regular ink. Let me pull out a few colors. How about this one, and this one, and maybe this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go with some yellows and a little bit of pink. So this one's Sunrise Glow, Sunbeam, Cheeky. These are all, this one's a duet ink pad. Let me put this one back and grab, how about this one? No, that one's too close. I apologize. Let's go here. I just want to try some regular distress ink, see how it goes. And you know what? Let's have fun and do the smudging technique, where you smudge it down and then smudge it into it. Okay, ooh, now that is a juicy ink pad. So get some squeezed lemonade and a little bit of this Cheeky. Okay, there we go. Next, we just spray it down and let's spritz the card. Maybe kind of start getting it ready to accept some of these fun colors. Ooh, wow, okay. Pull up some more. That is fun. Okay. Maybe a little more spritz. And there we go. I think that's definitely a good first layer of color. We got a lot down. So let me take this over and heat it up. Oh, actually, I don't have the camera where you can really see me heating it, but you'll be able to hear it. So just get it dry a tiny little bit, so maybe we can put on a second layer, although I'm not sure the second layer is going to take very well on this paper, but we'll try it for the sake of science. I was kind of liberal with the water, so maybe if you weren't quite so liberal with the water, it would take a second coat better. There we go, getting better. Here we go. Awesome. Okay. I love the colors that we're getting. I'm thinking maybe just a little bit more yellow, this bright yellow, and more of this cheeky color. Because we've got a big patch of the sunbeam right in the middle. We didn't really mix any of these colors up at all. So there we go. This will give us some nice splotches on top. Okay, there we go. Kind of building the color. It's fun. I guess I should have taken a look at the pad to see what colors they kind of spotlight, but I'm sure yellow and pink will be fine. Oh well, we'll keep going. Okay, there we go. Now I think that actually looks pretty cute. I'm gonna just sit this aside to dry, and you can see it really did resist pretty well. I think once it's fully dry, we'll just do a quick brush off, and anything that's still there on the resist part will just come right up. Or we can do it now, like I'm doing. Okay, so it does work with the ink pads. Good to know. I would say more than 2 passes, I think is just going to really start breaking down the paper. I wouldn't really want to go any further than this. But it looks great there. So let's grab another paper and another set of inks or something. Well, since we're here, why don't we do some hybrid ink? Okay, so we've got, let's grab some blue, some really deep blue, and maybe a pink. Here we go. These seems like they'll go really well. So we've got Distress Oxide Worn Lipstick and Chip Sapphire, and the Crafter's Companion Duet Waterfall. Now we just did the seashells. Let's do one of these with the waves. I think that'll be really pretty. And we also just did the splodging technique. So this time, why don't we paint it on? See how that goes. I'm just gonna grab some of this out onto my desk, and then I'll pick it up with a paintbrush. And good news, I already got some water out. So, one of my favorite things to do when you don't, I kind of get a little detail oriented. So if you don't want to be too detail oriented, a bigger brush is going to keep you from being too overly cautious. And just to get some water on there, I'm going to do a light spritz. Oh no, okay, we're good. Light spritz of water to just kind of get some movement based on that paper. Next, we should try some brusho. Oh, that's going to be fun. Okay, I'm going to grab some of this darker, and let's go for the bottom and maybe kind of build our way up. Add in some deeper colors. Now let's come in with some lighter blues. Looks like you need to work kind of fast because the ink part of this really seems to soak in pretty fast, and you can't move it quite as much as you can on like watercolor paper per se. Okay, but not too bad. Just bring some of that blue in and up. There we go. Well, it's pretty at least. I don't know if it's the most artistic thing I've ever done, but sure looks nice. Okay. Bring some more of that blue in, and let's work fast and just drop a little bit of the dark tone in while it's still wet. Kind of get blending. Okay. Here we go. Pick up a little bit more blue, and then let's kind of bring down, clean our brush a little bit and bring down some of the pink. Okay. Bring down and then meet up. And kind of carry this down, up and down. Just kind of blending in here. And let's add a little bit of pink in some of these lower areas. Oh, and then let's add a little bit of purple up in these top areas. Oh, now that is actually pretty fun. I like that. I think I'm going to leave that there. Super easy. And if I do say so myself, it looks pretty fantastic. Just leave that to dry over there. Okay, perfect. And let's just clean off our table again. Next up, we'll need to pick another medium. We said we were going to do brusho. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. Let me put these back real quick because otherwise everything gets out of order and I get a little fussy. Okay, definitely a teal. We 100% need some kind of teal. I don't really see one, but I know where it might be. So let's simply get this cobalt blue. What other colors am I seeing in our aspect? Okay. Let's, instead of the violet, let's not go exactly what we just did. I think this gamboge will meet a few of the other colors, and maybe if I can grab some teal. Well, I think the closest thing to teal I've got is this turquoise, but if I switch over, it does kind of match. I guess maybe I'll hold off on the cobalt blue and we can go with these three colors for right now. Okay, switching back, let's pick our next victim. We could definitely go bubbles. Ooh, we've got this mermaid's tail, but maybe a different set of colors. Maybe this seashell one. That might be cool. Okay, let's grab it. And I personally, my favorite way to do this is to put a little bit of water down, and then I'm going to just run some, let me pick up the excess water so it doesn't get too wild and crazy. And then we'll just make sure the water is over there smooth. That way, when we drop the watercolor in, the brush in, it'll burst, as opposed to the other way you can do it is put the burst down and then come over with the water. And we might do that, but that's a lot more messy. So I'm going to sprinkle from kind of high up because I'm thinking just kind of all over beautifulness. Okay. Next, going in turquoise. Ooh, this is going to be one poppin' color. Okay, last one, leaf green. I do think we're going to need to go over. There we go. Just a tiny bit of spray. And just start activating. Okay. I could definitely spray it more and get it more spread out, but I think I'm going to leave it like that and let's see how it starts to move. So while that's moving, I'm going to put these up. Actually, turquoise needs to stay so that I can start getting ready for the next one. And I think what I'll do is grab some of my fun colors from over here. Okay. There we go. Ooh, now that is fun. I would love for it to get a little bit more wild, but I'm thinking if we let it dry and then we come back with a really dark blue kind of around the edges so that the shells are what has that spackled effect and the background gets more backgroundy, it'll really just make this one pop. So I think I'm gonna stop myself here on this one. I would really love to keep going, but I also think it'll be even better if we stop. So, okay. And then sadly, I'm gonna pick up all that beautiful color. That's the hardest thing sometimes. But, and a lot of times I do pick up the extra with like extra card, and I'll use that a lot of the time in my projects. Sometimes I have a lot of extra pieces like I do right now, and I don't need any extra, so I'm just going to put it away. Next, we're going to use these two really fun sheen inks from Jane Davenport. I don't know if you can see that, if it'll focus, but they're Jane Davenport's. We've got Legend of the Sea, sheen ink, and we've got Anne Bonny and Jolly Roger, and these have some really cool effects. So I think the right option is to go for this. Okay, let's do it. Let's get some really fun, funky inks down here. Now, this might shake the camera just a little bit, but I like to shake these up a little bit. And I've got this little, I don't know, it's like a test tube shaker that I got from Amazon, and it shakes it all up. And I like to do that with my paints to really make sure the pigment gets all through that. So just do that really quick, and let's hope that I have a pipette out here. I do. Ha! I have a zillion pipettes, but I don't always have them out. Okay, so we'll do Anne Bonny up here, and honestly, that might be more than we need. Let me clean off. Oh, Might have to go get clean water in a minute if we need it. Okay? And I'll keep the Anne Bonny here so I know it's the one we've got first. And the one we've got second is the Jolly Roger. And really, I think that's like 3, maybe 4 drops. And that's all we need. So, first we've got Anne Bonny, then we've got Jolly Roger. And whew, I think we can just quickly put some ink water down. And oh my gosh, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, well, there you go. Sometimes life just happens to you. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, let's just grab them. Let's grab and go. Oh my goodness. Well, the front of this paper may be prettier than the back, or the back may be prettier. We will see. Okay, just slapping them down. I thought this was supposed to have some purple in it, and I'm not seeing that. It's a very, very blue. Looked like there was purple in both of them. One was... Okay, well, we will see what this looks like. Oh gosh, this is the hard thing about these inks is I just always feel like they get everywhere. Okay, there we go. But we'll let this one dry, and I think the same thing, we'll just run the microfiber cloth over top, and that'll really just like make that resist shine. So I'm not worried about that. Just in case you were, don't be. Microfiber cloth will take that away. And there we go for the back. All of that extra pigment may be sitting right there. We will see. Not much you can do. I'm going to be careful where I place that one to dry though. Okay. But in this case, I just love this ink so much that I am going to grab a piece of watercolor paper and we will just spritz and spray and grab a few bits of this up, because why waste it? Oh wow, even that's just beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. And per usual, I am making a huge mess. What can you do? Actually, I have some of this gray ink paper. Let's see what it looks like on gray. Okay. There we go. Just grab some of that beautiful ink up and we'll just paint this card blue. There we go. Sorry. Like I said, sometimes I do this and then sometimes I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. I just really love this ink and so I hate to waste it. So really you need maybe 1 drop. Let's start with 1 drop of each and see if you need any more. There we go. Okay, my fingers are going to be all blue. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Oh, wow. But I do think that may go well with our other cardstock that we're making. And a place to put it. Okay, I'll put it there. Move that there. My goodness, I can surely make a mess. Okay. Huh, I don't know that I love that, but we'll keep going. can always paint over it or do something else with the card. Here we go. But I have all this gray cardstock that I've literally never used. I'm just not a gray person. Gray is just such a boring color. I like black. I like white. Don't like gray. Just so boring. At least that's my opinion. I've never really been into this modern gray trend. But we're gonna embrace the color and replace the gray with some of this beautiful blue before we wipe it all up. Okay, perfect. There we go. Oh, actually, I kind of like the toned down nature of that, so I'm sure we'll find a use for it someday. Oh gosh, okay, and now I'm all messed up. Okay, so we've done a bunch of different trials with this. Let's do one or two more. So we've done ink pads in both regular ink and hybrid ink. We've done this type of ink. Let's do maybe something, I have two options we can do. So we can do some Copic markers, or we can do some of these shimmer inks. They're kind of fun. I haven't used them in quite a while. Maybe we could do some shimmer inks. I think that might be fun. Okay, we'll try. Give me 2 seconds and I'm gonna clean my water out because it is completely blue and we need some cleaning. There we go. Okay. Perfect, right as rain. Awesome. So again, we need to pick out a new page and we need to shake these up because you can see the shimmer really sits at the bottom. So I'm thinking maybe this one. Let's see if we can find that. Here we go. And next item of business. I think we'll just do one color at a time. I'm thinking this candlelight, and these are Spectrum Noir Sparkle inks. And if you haven't seen them before, they're the same formulation as those paintbrushes that are filled with sparkle ink. It's just in a little jar. And I'm just going to spin these up to really get all that sparkle moving. And you can really tell when it's just bubbles. So let's move that. And we can grab a tiny bit of our orange. Okay. There we go. Let's take a little bit of the water off because we don't want to distill this too much. And this looks kind of like a orange. Just kind of follow along. Just kind of pick some areas that should be orange. That's how I'm feeling. Come in with some other colors in just a minute. Let's start here. All right, that looks pretty cute. Okay, and maybe a tiny bit up here at the top. Okay, now let me really clean off my brush. So I don't want to transfer this to the next colors. And you could, of course, wash your brush off really well. You could use your little paint dauber and grab just a little bit out. But I'm kind of lazy at the moment. And you've already seen a ton of mess. So what can you do? I'm kind of building lightest color to darkest because the darkest will overtake the light anywhere that we put it. And so I want to grab the lightest colors first, kind of get them over. For example, if I wanted a third of each, then I'd put, half the lightest color, then over a third, like 2/5, the next lightest color, and then I just do a third of the darkest because it will overtake quite a bit. Okay, there we go, nice and mixed. And I'm gonna spray this everywhere. I can just feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Okay, kind of blend between the two colors, and these are not gonna blend super well, but that's okay. We are not trying to blend super well. We're just trying to get some beautiful colors on the page. Here we go. You can kind of see I'm starting to pick up some of that yellow, so let me clean off my brush again, and I'll pull a lot of that water out, and we'll come back in with some more of the deeper color. And let's just grab some of this. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. And maybe just a tiny bit more here in the corner. Okie dokie. Clean our brush off, close our ink up, and get our very last color. I don't know if this is my favorite we've done so far, but it is something that we've done. Well, at least we can say that. And you kind of have to use both a little bit of your own shaking because you get it kind of more, you get more swaths, but this does help speed it up quite a bit. Okay, there we go. And let's grab just a tiny bit of this. And whoa, that really does darken it up. Okay. Like I said, you really have to be careful with the darkest color because it will overtake everything. Okay. But we do want some of that darkest color in here. So we're just going to grab it and put it down. Like I said, if you put it wherever you put it, it's going to be the color that's there. So you just kind of got to be careful and really feel like we need something kind of, here we go. And maybe we kind of like that. Okay. Now let's set this one to dry as well. Okie dokie. Whew. Everything's drying and coming along. I think we have time for, oh, I want to say 2 more, but I don't know that we have that much time. So let's try at least one more. I'm thinking, okay, what we'll do first is let's pick one. Dry this off a little bit more. Let's pick a bubbles because I think that's the one we haven't done. And we put these back, and I think we'll do some aqua markers. I know I really want to get to the Copic markers because everything we've done has been very water-based. But I also want to do, maybe we'll do kind of half and half. So I'll grab a couple colors. This, and then maybe a couple colors of this one, okay? And more of a teal. There we go. Okay, we can try at least a couple colors of each. So maybe let's start with the Copic, and we'll do a few bubbles here at the top. I'm thinking that they won't actually resist. So if we go here, and then maybe kind of bring in some of that blue there, add a little bit of purple, and maybe a light, the darker pink, and then the very lightest pink to kind of blend it. We add a little bit of the dark blue or teal. Can make a nice, happy water bubble. Oh, we probably need to color this one in. And it just doesn't really resist. So I don't know that I would use Copic markers on this paper. As much as I love Copic markers, I don't know that, like, it works on the pearlescent paper for sure, no issues, but the resist doesn't resist the Copic marker, which was what I was kind of worried about. So something to note when you're using that, you either have to be really careful or just know it's gonna have issues. So we've kind of already ruined this corner, so let's add a little bit more, just kind of test out the techniques that we can do. Okay. I'm going to put the same colors in the same places on all of these bubbles. So let's do kind of here. There we go. And last but not least, a little bit of blue. Oops. Just a few with that darker blue. Come back in, just do the tiniest little flick. Okay. And next, okay, and some obviously unclear water. Clean that brush off as much as we can, and maybe I can just blend it like that. Okay, I don't know. Maybe not the most beautiful of water droplets. I'm definitely leaning towards the Copic marker more. Much prettier. Let's grab a little bit of this blue. Maybe if we kind of darken up around the bubbles, it'll make the bubbles pop. Of course, I have a huge brush, which makes it more difficult. I'm not sure this is the medium I think works the best on this. I think it would work better on watercolor paper, but this paper you just don't want to work over too much. It's because it's very much not watercolor paper. So you don't want to overwork it. And this one, this type of medium, you just have to work really hard with. Okay. Well, definitely something you can do. Do you want to do it? I don't know. I don't know that's what I would want to do. Okay. So before we give up, before we completely give up, there was one other thing I wanted to try. Now, here we go. Let's grab this, and I'm just going to grab one of these stamps. Thinking this one. Let's grab it. We have this Duet ink pad. It's the color bloom, so where the ink is a different color than the pigment. And we're going to stamp that down. I'm going to try and get a lot on here. So we're going to get kind of two different things going on. We're going to have the bubbles, and then we're going to have this. And I'm going to stamp this down. And I'm going to give it time. That's if you want a really good stamp when you're only going to be able to stamp it once. You want to give it some time. You want to rub it in and not shift it too much. Okay, because I didn't want to bring everything out and do perfect stamping. Okay, but we did do pretty well there. Let me just clean this off real quick, and then we will come in with some water. And as a reminder, we should get some pink. I think we should get some pink, and then the purple should stay, but we will see. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Okay. The resist kind of holds the water in those areas, so you get different movement, different places. I like that. Okay. Well, I think the best way to go about this is to let this one dry naturally. So I'm going to slightly push it up, but let's go through everything we've done today. So I'm going to kind of work backwards. The Duet ink pad. We stamped a background stamp on top, spritzed it out on top of the resist ink pad. That turned into this. I think this is really cool. What I would do is I'd let this fully dry. I'd come in with probably some colored pencils and add just a little bit of shadowing to make it look a little bit more 3D. There's some really easy tutorials online about how to make water bubbles it's really easy. It's a lot easier than you think. So once that was fully dry, that's what I would do here. You, we also tried using some aqua markers. That's what we got here. It turned out okay. The aqua markers are not my recommended use on this paper. This is the pearlescent paper, and that's why we're having issues with the aqua markers. You need more time to work with the aqua markers. That time does not allow on this paper. Then we have the Copic markers. You can see those right here. Those are actually okay on the paper, but the resist doesn't resist them at all. So I would use them on this type of paper, but without the resist. Next up, we use some sparkle ink, and that's what we've got here. Move this one a little bit out of the way, and it's still drying, but you can kind of see, even just with a little bit of water on here, it picks up some, but not all of that ink that's over the resist. So good to know. It's going to pick up most of it, but it's not going to fully clean it. And you'll want to keep changing your area, especially if you have some dark, because you can see how the blue that we did pick up kind of messed up there. Okay? But that one looks cute, and it'll be a great background picture page for a card. Then we had this one, which was some inks from Jane Davenport, and they're like super fun, mystical, shifty inks. And I see a little bit of the shiftiness, but I think I lost most of it here on the back. What can you do? So, but let's see if the ink pad, oh, I don't know if it's just not dry, or since it had water on there, it came up. Yeah, I think just if you wet it and then buff it off, it'll come off really easily. So it does resist it, maybe not perfectly. I think that's kind of what I've seen with this whole resist pad, is that the resist is there, but it's not perfect. But what is perfect? Last two, we use some Distress Oxides and Duet ink pads to get kind of this really ethereal look where we just dry brushed it on. You can see when we were moving fast, it blended better. But that one turned out beautiful. I think this one might be my favorite. And last, no, this is not last. There's one other. And I've placed it somewhere. Oh, here. Okay, this one's still drying. And this is the Brusho. And it has the shells. Once it's fully dry, what I'm going to come in and do is put some darker color over the background so that the shells really pop. But I think that one turned out really cool, and that was with Brusho. And last but not least, the very first one we did was just regular ink pads and the smooshing technique, and it came out really well. It isn't as vibrant as some of the other ones, but that's just the colors that I chose. But you can definitely see it did resist. So I had a lot of fun doing these today. I hope you enjoyed joining me. Next stream up, we're going to finish that Enchanted Forest project that I have going on, and I want to get it done so I can get it up and make my house look like an enchanted forest before I switch it over in June to Independence Day. Thank you so much. Again, all of my May and June live streams are up, so take a look at those. I hope to see you on Sunday, the 19th at 7 p.m. Central, whatever time that is for you. You can probably check in the description below and you'll see what time that is for you. So please come back. I had so much fun with you today, and I'll see you later. Bye.